So this is a ray wild or roe deer. So this is the first one I've ever shot here in outside of Kaiserslautern. I shot him about an hour and a half ago. This is about as big as they get. This is actually a pretty big size. You can see he has 6 points. They'll never grow a rack like you might be used to a white-tailed deer in the United States or a mule deer. But with him having his 6 points, he's what they would call a sechser, so 6 in German. And yeah, he's pretty large, believe it or not. You know, even though he's bigger than a full-size dog, but he's smaller if you were to consider him compared to North American species. He's very common in Europe. Here in Germany, you see him all over the place on the sides of the road, and this is where the majority of your hunting is going to come from. And it's affordable. You know, if you want to kill a big red stag or a Rottweiler, you're going to spend a lot of money, or you're going to have to leave Germany because they're very expensive, but they're really majestic. In the meantime, this is very accessible, and hunting ray wild is where it's at. You know, if you want to just get out there and have a good time. So here, this you put a twig in its mouth when you shoot the animal. That's basically in German. It's a letzter Biss, something of that nature. Forgive my pronunciation, but it's basically respecting the animal and giving him his last bite. So really happy. I had my daughter with me, and she was with me, and this is her first experience shooting a deer. I took the shot, but she was with me in the stand, so definitely family fun whenever you can get out there and take the kids and pass the tradition on, even though you're overseas. And all in all, it's great, and I'm enjoying it. This is my first experience with this. So, Weidmannsheim. Okay, now that I cleaned and dressed my animal, like you can see that they have everything you need. You can hang it up on a hook, you can gut it, there's trash cans and bins for the organs, unconsumable stuff. As far as weighing it out, so once you clean it up, like I said, you bring your own knives, but everything else in here is what you need outside of it. Alright, so this is pretty neat. It'll come up and down. I don't know if they're all like this. I'm sure they're different setups everywhere you go, but this one is in Kaiserslautern. Most people that are watching these videos, if they want to hunt, they're going to be hunting in Kaiserslautern. So up and down, hang your deer up, clean it out, put it on a hook, and then you'll hook it up on this pole system. And then it's pretty neat because they've got a real sophisticated setup. This marking here, zero out your scale, and then it'll weigh your animal, so you have a very official weight, and it's you'll log that in, so whenever you're purchasing the meat, you have a good fix on that, and they have the same thing. They can easily bring it back out. I'm going to show you all what's in here real quick. You got a sign that tells you how to hang the animal. You want to be consistent with that. It helps if you know German. I know some German. I can read pretty well for an American, but I don't have any signal out here, so try to familiarize yourself with some of this stuff. It's going to come with the training that you get when you do your Jagdschein. And then, so after I weigh the animal, I move it over here, make sure it's tagged correctly, and then I can see everyone else's. I'll just tell you, I'm not going to show it the graphic on YouTube, but we've got a Schwarzwild and 2 other ray deer besides mine, or roe deer. Okay, so I showed you the deer that I shot, and I was able to bring it into here, the Forstamt, which means forest office, and they're like the primary start and end to your hunt, right? So I came here to get my contract and sign off on the land that I would be hunting, and now I also process my game through here. What I mean by processing is I can field dress the deer here, clean up, weigh it out, and then I'll complete some paperwork. And basically I'm registering like that I shot an animal so that they can keep tally and the biologist can come by and mark it off. And then with this paperwork, I'll tag the animal, but not only will I tag it, I'll choose to either sell it or have the state sell it, because this property, just like in the United States, the animal is considered property of the state, and you basically harvest that property. Or I choose to buy it for my own consumption. So the property that I have is over 115 hectares, which is well over 200 acres. that we're used to measuring in the States. But for that property, I basically get all that property 365 days a year, as much as I want as far as the frequency of visits and hunting, and then the limits of that land based on the available biology. So I have my contract here. I brought my Jagdschein, and I brought my Waffenbesitz card, and I'm going to tag the animal, and I'm going to choose to personally keep this deer. So this deer weighed out to be 14.7 kilograms, and there's PII on here, so I'm not going to show it in depth, but I can see all the people, what they've killed in the last couple of weeks, and I can see that actually my red book is pretty big. So the biggest one on here is 15 kilograms, mine's 14.7, over 3 kilograms more than the next guy. So I'm very fortunate and thankful for that. So I'll tag the animal, and I cleaned up. Maybe I want to be hospitable, for the next hunter, and also pay my respect. But they really have a nice facility, and all this is included with your visit, or your review. So very awesome, great opportunity.